afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for joining us. You've made a great decision to join the Home Court Design podcast today. So we took a couple of weeks off. Been a pretty busy time here at Home Court Design. Just been working on the product design, going through the mechanical assembly right now, and it's been a real fun challenge. Just kind of going through all the different sub-assemblies, and hopefully within the next couple of days, and definitely within the next couple of weeks, we'll be finishing up our mechanical design, and then we'll be moving more into the software portion of the design, how we're going to control the different sub-assemblies. So some real cool stuff we're doing at Home Court Design. It's definitely still too early to share most of the details with you guys, and gals. But I'm going to definitely be sharing some more details with you guys and girls as the months progress on. So, but Home Court Design aside, a lot's been going on in the NBA. So we the season started about a week ago, and a lot of craziness has happened. It's been really a lot of storylines, some things that were unexpected, some things that were expected. Opening night was pretty intense, and a lot happened at that point too. So we'll be getting into the majority of it here on today's episode. So with all that, we're going to go ahead and jump into our first topic. So let's jump in. We're going to go ahead and start with the Lakers. And, the Lakers have made a lot of storylines, obviously, with Lonzo Ball, the addition of Lonzo Ball, and a lot of their other rookie players. And along with Magic Johnson, being the new face of the franchise, just kind of leading them back to prominence. The Lakers have a lot to play for and a lot to show this season. And we're really looking to just see a lot of growth out of the young guys. So, the season started last, I think it was Monday rather, and on Wednesday last week, so about a week ago today, Lonzo Ball made his debut with the Lakers playing against the Houston Rockets, and he for anybody who saw the game, definitely saw Lonzo get owned by Patrick Beverley, and Patrick Beverley is an all-team first defensive player. He's an absolute pit bull on the floor, and there couldn't have probably been a worse guy for Lonzo to go up against in his first game. But Lonzo Ball did bounce back with a 29-point, 11 rebound, and 9 assist performance against the Phoenix Suns, and led them to a win in that game. So Lonzo has been playing actually pretty well. In the next game after that, they played the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Lakers lost a close one. I think it was 119-112 that they lost to the New Orleans Pelicans. But Lonzo had about, I think it was 8 points, 13 assists, and about 8 or 9 rebounds. So Lonzo's actually averaging about 9 assists per game, which is really, quite frankly, what we would expect out of Lonzo Ball. He's not going to be a guy who's going to be dropping 25, 30 points a night, although he can do that. The type of player Lonzo Ball is he's going to be getting other guys involved and making other guys better. And I think he's really shown that ability to be able to do that. And through the first 3 games, and he can only get better. This guy's a rookie. He's only 19 years old, and he's already averaging 9 assists a game. It's pretty remarkable, and the scoring will come. Obviously he hasn't been shooting a great percentage, but most rookies don't shoot great percentages or score at a real efficient clip. And he's shown that he has the outside touch from the 3-point line. In the game against Phoenix, he had about 4 triples in that game. So Lonzo can shoot the ball. He's going to have to work on his mid-range game, but initial returns on Lonzo Ball, I think, has been great. A lot of people have been bagging on Lonzo, said he hasn't been playing good. He got owned in the first game. Lonzo is who we thought he was. Lonzo is a guy who's going to get guys better, and he's playing great, and he's handling all the adversity with class and with a mature attitude that you really don't see out of players at his age. A lot of people also have been talking about Lonzo Ball's father, LeVar Ball. And we all know LeVar Ball. He's got a big mouth, and he is not bashful about running his mouth, especially when it comes to his kids and promoting them and putting them in the public eye. And a lot of people are getting on LeVar Ball again as they don't believe that LeVar Ball should be talking the smack that he is against other players or other teams about Lonzo because they think he's putting a target on Lonzo's back. And you're going to have guys like Patrick Beverley or John Wall in their game tonight against the Wizards. We're filming the podcast on Wednesday this week. So they play the Wizards tonight, and so LeVar Ball said after their game against the Pelicans that Lonzo ain't losing another game, so the Wizards better watch out. To which Marcin Gortat on the Wizards posted on his Twitter account saying, man, John Wall's going to torture Lonzo Ball. And so a lot of people are saying LeVar Ball needs to keep his mouth shut because he's just going to create a situation where guys are going to want to come after Lonzo Ball. And honestly, to me, guys are going to come after Lonzo anyways. It really doesn't make a difference. If anything, yes, maybe it gives guys added motivation. They want to shut the kid up, or they want to shut the father up, so they're going to go after his son Lonzo. But to be honest, and this is the way I look at it, LeVar Ball, if anything, is making these guys want to give their best against Lonzo. And what could be looked at as tough love, but what LeVar actually is doing here, if you think about it, is he's creating a situation where guys are going to want to give Lonzo their best, and they're going to want to go at Lonzo. And what this does for Lonzo as a 19-year-old rookie is he's going to see the best version of these guys. And why that is actually a good thing. Why it's not a bad thing. People want to say, oh no, they're going to go after Lonzo and it's going to be tough and he's going to struggle. Look, the bottom line is that Lonzo is going to see the best version of players like John Wall, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook. And now he knows what to expect. He knows where the bar is. So he doesn't have to expect, is there another level these guys can go to? They're going to give it to them, or give it to Lonzo. So to me, this actually is a good thing. So LeVar, keep running your mouth. I want to see the best version of John Wall and the best version of Steph Curry and the best version of Russell Westbrook to go at Lonzo. Because look, Lakers fans, we want Lonzo to be the best version of himself. And that's the way he can do it. He needs to be playing against the best version of these all-star, superstar caliber players. So that's my take on the Lakers with Lonzo Ball. And just another few topics I want to get into on the Lakers before we jump into the next is and I'll finish with this with the Lakers is Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram is in his second year. He's about 20 years old. We're going to be going on 20. He's around that age group. And this is his second year. And Brandon Ingram was a high lottery pick. He was our second overall pick in the 2016 draft. And we expect a lot out of Brandon Ingram in this second season. We want to see a lot of growth. And I'll have to say, as a Lakers fan, and I'm sure most Lakers fans would agree with me, Brandon Ingram has not played up to that level that we would have expected him to play at. Now, granted, Brandon Ingram is young, and he's still developing, and we don't want to get too hard on him too soon. But how he has played in preseason and how he has played in the first 3 games has been concerning. Now, granted, he did play very well against Phoenix Suns. He had about 25 points, shot a very efficient rate, and I think that is a flash of Brandon Ingram's greatness. So we don't want to get too hard on Brandon Ingram, Lakers fans. We want to give him time to develop. But I will say I am cautiously optimistic about Brandon Ingram and his development. He has all the tools, but we need to see him put it all together. Hopefully playing with Lonzo Ball will make him a better player. But as the season progresses, we need to keep an eye on Brandon Ingram because we need to see a lot of growth out of him. This is his second year, and he needs to show that he can be the guy we can go to in clutch time. Or else it's not looking good as far as a long-term career with the Lakers. So that's my take on Brandon Ingram. Our next topic, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. The great thing about the NBA is storylines change. We always have different, for 1 year, whoever the hot player is or the hot team is for that year, the next year they're now the enemy. Whoever was the darling of the NBA one season, the next season can be the enemy of all the fans because, for example, the Golden State Warriors. Same thing goes for individual players. At one point Steph Curry was the darling and now he's not. He gets a lot of hate from a lot of fans. So that changes constantly. So I think what we're going to see now this season is the darling of the NBA, and it's already starting to show, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. and if I pronounce that right, the guy's from Greece, and I'm Italian, so I have no clue how to pronounce his names. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is playing absolutely outstanding these first couple of games. The Bucks record currently stands at 2-1 in the East, and Giannis is playing at an MVP level. And what's interesting is Giannis, and I've been a critic of Giannis. I personally was not high on the Giannis bandwagon, and mainly for this reason. I don't think Giannis has a jump shot. I don't think he's got a reliable jumper to hit the three or to hit the mid-range consistently. But where Giannis is really surprising me and surprising a lot of people is he's scoring at a high clip and doing it from the mid-range and slashing to the basket. He hits the mid-range jumper effectively, but he gets to the basket and he's able to finish at the rim. And the fact that he's able to do that consistently at his size makes it easier for him, and his agility makes him a mismatch for a lot of other opposing teams. So currently Giannis is averaging. Let me look up the stats here. Giannis is averaging 36 points, 36.8 points per game, 10.8 points, 10.8 rebounds per game, and 5.3 assists per game. Those are absolutely outstanding numbers, and the fact that the Bucks are winning in these first and this is early in the season, but the fact that the Bucks are winning, I think makes Giannis an early MVP candidate. Absolutely, and if he keeps this up, he's definitely going to be in strong consideration, in my opinion, for the MVP. Obviously, there's a long season to go, but early returns, Giannis has come to play, and he's come to prove that he's the best player in the league. So keep an eye out on the Bucks. And another thing I have to say about the Bucks, in the Eastern Conference, and we have to think about this, who the best teams are in the East, because at first in the beginning of the season we would have said Celtics, Cavs, everybody else is second tier. But now that the Celtics had that tragic injury to Gordon Hayward on opening night, which thoughts and prayers go out to Gordon Hayward. Nobody wants to see an injury like that to an absolutely outstanding player like Gordon Hayward is. So we wish him all the best, but really what that means to the Celtics is that they're going to take a step back, because let's be honest, Kyrie Irving is not going to be the guy who's going to get you to championship contention and even the playoffs. Now, and let's go ahead and segue here for a second. Let's talk a second about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is not the guy who's going to get you to the playoffs or to the Western Conference contention. At the very least, maybe he'll get you into the fringe playoffs. But Kyrie Irving doesn't make other guys better. He's not that type of player. He's not a Steph Curry. He's not a Russell Westbrook. He doesn't involve his team as much as those other guys do. So the fact that he left the Cavaliers, and I applauded Kyrie on previous podcasts for doing that, because you should be able to test the waters of your greatness. And maybe we'll see a different side of Kyrie. But going based on past experience, I don't see Kyrie doing that, and quite frankly, I don't see the Celtics being in that, even I would say the top 4 or 5 in the East. So I honestly have to say that the Bucks are going to be, in my opinion, if they're keep playing though as well as they are, they're going to be in that mix for the top seed, if not the top 1-2 seed. If the Cavs are in the number 1 seed, I'd say the Bucks are probably going to be around the top 2 or third seed in the East. I don't see the Celtics being better than them, and quite frankly, the Wizards are just a little bit too inconsistent for me. I love John Wall, but I just they're a little bit inconsistent, and they don't have a guy like Giannis who can really will the team to a victory. So I really think the Milwaukee Bucks are probably going to be in that top 2 to 3rd seed in the East, and the Celtics are dropping out of that for me. So. That's my take on Giannis and the Eastern Conference as far as the top seedings go. So we're going to go ahead and jump into another topic here, which kind of has popped up. So the Phoenix Suns have been atrocious this season. They recently lost to the Clippers by about 40 points. I remember when I turned on my app and I saw that game, and it was a 40-point blowout. I was shocked that a team could get blown out by that much. I thought like the Clippers were playing like a G League team or something. But that obviously hasn't sat well with some of the veteran players on Phoenix. Specifically, Eric Bledsoe has not sat well with, and he recently tweeted, "I want to get out of here." So if you go on his Twitter page, that's what he tweeted. Now reporters had asked Eric Bledsoe, what he meant by that, and apparently he said that he was in like a hair salon with his wife, and that that's what he was talking about when he wanted to get out of the hair salon, which we all know that's complete baloney. We all know Eric Bledsoe wants to get out of Phoenix. They're a team that clearly is rebuilding, and they're rebuilding around players like Devin Booker, Dragon Bender, and Josh Jackson. They're not rebuilding around a guy like Eric Bledsoe, so he wants to get out. So who's the best team for Eric Bledsoe? The best team, in my opinion, for Eric Bledsoe, and that should really trade for him, would be the Los Angeles Clippers. He should go back to the LA Clippers, where he initially started his career, and play for them, because they need a dynamic point guard like an Eric Bledsoe. Now granted, they have Milos Teodosic, who has gotten hurt and is out for an indefinite amount of time. Who knows when he'll come back? And they do have Patrick Beverley, who I like. I like Patrick Beverley. I like his defensive prowess. But Eric Bledsoe is just a more dynamic player than Beverley is. I think both those guys can, if they could get Bledsoe, could really shore up the point guard and shooting guard spot, because Beverley could play the shooting guard spot as well. So I think the Clippers should really make a push to get Eric Bledsoe on their team. It may be difficult. They are in the luxury tax to actually pay a guy like him. So they'd have to move some significant assets. But if they can make it happen, it would be a real smart move for the LA Clippers, because they have actually been the shocker of the season. I'll be honest. They currently stand at the top of the Western Conference, along with San Antonio and Memphis. They're all three wins, 0 losses. And I did predict this. I thought Blake Griffin's going to play a lot better without Chris Paul, because that's just the type of player Griffin is. He gets the other guys involved and he moves around better without a guy like Chris Paul dominating the ball. So the Clippers have actually been a surprise, and I really still believe they're going to be in that 4th to 5th seed of the Western Conference playoff picture. Getting a guy like Bledsoe even more shores up that belief that they're going to be in that top 4 to 5th seed in the West. So I really believe the Clippers should trade for him. And a couple of other teams that I think should consider. San Antonio should really try to make a push. Tony Parker is still out. They have DeJounte Murray, but I still think a guy like Bledsoe would pair well with LaMarcus Aldridge. And then Denver Nuggets and the Milwaukee Bucks. If you could put Bledsoe with Giannis. I know they got Brogdon, but Bledsoe is more polished, and he's still young. He's only 27. He's still a young player that they can use, and he at times has shown ability, Eric Bledsoe, to be an all-star caliber player. So I really think the Bucks and Denver Nuggets should really consider him, but the Clippers, in my opinion, would be the best fit for Bledsoe. So my final take here, and we're going to introduce a new segment called it's Tom's Hot Take. So the last take I give is always going to be my hot take that it just is on my mind, and I want to share with the audience that most people probably would disagree with me on. Maybe some would agree with me, but so we're going to go ahead and debut Tom's Hot Take. So Tom's Hot Take. Here's what I got to say about that. I'll be honest, and I'm going to take you guys back to the beginning of the summer. The Lakers had signed 2 years ago, or about a year ago, last summer, had signed 2 terrible contracts. They signed Timofey Mozgov and they signed Luol Deng. 2 terrible contracts. And this summer, what Magic Johnson had did was traded D'Angelo Russell to offload the Mozgov contract. And what the Lakers got in return was a pretty awesome package. We did get a Kyle Kuzma in the draft with the draft pick that Brooklyn sent us, and we got Brook Lopez, who's on an expiring deal. Kuzma looks like he's going to be a great player, but it remains to be seen. But I have to say, if we could do that deal over again, I would say the Lakers should, because I 110% disagree with Magic Johnson's decision to trade D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell was the number 2 pick in the 2015 draft, and he fits the modern NBA. He is not an athletic guard, but he can shoot, and he can shoot effectively. In a backcourt of Lonzo Ball and D'Angelo Russell would be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. D'Angelo Russell's only 21 years old, and I don't know if anybody's been actually following D'Angelo playing on the Brooklyn Nets, but I have. And he's averaging 23 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Those are outstanding numbers for the number 2 overall pick. And I honestly think the Lakers could have built around Lonzo, D'Angelo, and Brandon Ingram as your core 3. Those guys growing together, maturing together. And I know a lot of people would say D'Angelo's not a great defensive player. He can learn that, and he can guard bigger guards. He's 6'5". So I think that was a big mistake that the Lakers are going to live to regret. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like and share us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Comment below if you've got any questions and you want me to talk about anything in the further to come episodes, or if you disagree with anything I had to say, please comment below. And I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Signing out.